Hello and welcome. My name is Aphrodite and I am here with Amy and Deanna with Burg Simpson. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
So today we're talking a little bit about vendor relationships, right? And what they mean in our industry when we're servicing our clients, when we're trying to just really build something long-term. So what do you look for in a manager or a board that you're looking to build a relationship with?
This is such an important topic, and it's not talked about enough. People really believe that, it's better to diversify and use so many different kinds of vendors and spread the wealth. And although there's value to that, there is nothing more helpful than actually being selective with the people that you work with. Because that, at the end of the day, we're all trying to get a job done. Mm-hmm. And when you bring different vendors together, and those vendors are actually trying to get the same job done, mm-hmm. then those vendors have to have a symbiotic relationship. They have to work in a way where both efforts are synchronized. And if they don't see eye to eye, if they have different values, even if they do different things, then they're not going to work towards the same purpose. For example, as attorneys, when we are hired, we're hired primarily to do construction defect litigation. At that point, the client, the board, and the management company is entrusting us to bring on a team of experts that are going to effectuate the ultimate goal, which is recover enough money for the association to repair the defects, right? Mm-hmm. Well, if I just went out and hired a random engineer I just met or I've never heard of before, whose values and principles and work ethic I have no idea about, then chances are I'm not going to be doing that board or that management company any service. So there's going to have to be some level of understanding what the vendors stand for and building relationships in and outside of work, because that's what teaches you about their work ethic, about how much they are going to put into your client's mm-hmm. ultimate goal. And those relationships are so incredible to build. I know that networking sometimes is looked down upon, almost as if I don't have time for that. I can't go do the lunch. I can't go do the dinner. But networking allows you to get to know somebody that you may partner with on a different level, because, I believe that the way you do one thing is the way you do everything.
Yeah.
And so at the dinner, if you are getting to know an engineer and they tell you a story about we had a case one time where X happened or where Y happened, you actually learn a lot about how they reacted and how they perform. And of course, there's always the due diligence that we all engage in by looking at the paperwork and whatnot. But building trust and relationships behind the scenes, yes, it may be time consuming, but it makes the symbiotic relationships that are so needed to effectuate the ultimate goal that the client's looking for so much more efficient and better overall.
Yeah, beautifully stated. And I think that spills over into the client relationship piece, right? Our boards can see that. They see the human factor. They see the part where we have that relationship, that respect, that trust in each other, that we can count on you. We're all professionals. We're all here to deliver a service, and we're here to do it with passion and integrity and everything that we stand behind.
Our industry is hard. It's really difficult, right? And in my opinion, the reason why it may be more difficult than, say, commercial management, and I'm not undermining that. Every industry has its difficulties, right, for sure. But the reason why it has its unique challenges, shall I say, is we're dealing with people's homes. And a person's home is the most intimate place they could possibly be, and they get more protective of it. Mm-hmm. And so for you guys as a management company, you are managing essentially people's homes, which means that, their little quirks, maybe their sensitivities or their anger issues or whatever they may be, they're going to come out more because we're managing their homes. Mm-hmm. And if when you're partnering with vendors, again, going back to kind of what we do, we're lawyers, right? And so we're doing construction defect. Often in our cases, we're coming in, working with you as managers to actually perform testing in people's buildings and tear things apart. Mm-hmm. They don't really like it. If you and I don't have a good relationship, chances are when I choose a separate vendor, like the contractor who's tearing things apart, if they go, and they make a mistake, if you know me, you're going to empathize and you're going to be like, listen, Deanna, this didn't work, but I trust you're going to fix it, yada, yada, yada. Right. But if you don't know me at all, there may not be that empathy. Mm-hmm. There may not be that feeling of teamwork. Like at the end of the day, we've got to finish this testing. So I don't like how this turned out, but let's get it done. And I think that boards see that. If they see you two working together when things go sideways, which I promise you they will, the boards are going to feel better about your judgment in selecting the right people. And that really does come from building relationships. These things they don't happen overnight.
Right. So I'm so excited to have you guys be a part of Communities Connect and really just have the opportunity to meet new board members that maybe don't know who Burg Simpson is. Maybe, to meet new CAMs that are new to the industry and are just looking for that familiar face and that partner to grow that relationship with them, right? Because it's just what we do. Relationship business. This is what we signed up for. This is what we're committed to. And I'm really excited. And thank you so much for being here and being a part of this for us today. Yeah, it's been great. Thank you.